Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. This is going to be a video about manifesting your specific person, but focusing on the idea and end result of a date. So whether or not you're manifesting in steps or a specific full result, everyone wants a fun, fabulous date with their specific person. If you're manifesting obviously a romantic SP, you can change around the context and change my advice in this video. You can adapt it to whatever you want. So you can make it, a coffee date, a lunch, a catch up. It doesn't have to be a romantic SP, but typically that's what people manifest. So that is how I'm going to reference it in this video. And I think I will make it into kind of like a suggestion of a 1 week challenge. I think that would be fun. And that's the minimum I will recommend for what I'm about to tell you guys to test out as a method. But yeah, take it as you will, apply it and adapt it to your routine, however works best for you. And before we jump right into my advice and suggestions, do take a look on screen. I'll pop everything here in terms of my coaching, all the special offers you can get. I have a few current discounts going on. And you can also become a member, an LOA Coaching Darling. You get some extra bonus content and early content that you wouldn't normally get for a really low price of just $2.99 a month. And you're not obligated to re-sign if you just want to test out for a month, that's up to you. But yeah, take a look on screen or in the description box. And now let's start the video. Starting off, reminding you guys of the key principles, the things to remember to stay confident. It's that you are in control of your reality. You decide how things go, you shape them, and you say, oh, I don't like this element, not quite happy with how that's going, and you decide you can apply revision, simply ignore, apply your mental diet and decide, this is how I'm going to shape and mold my 3D to be how I want it to be, because I don't like these certain relationships, these certain experiences I've had, whatever it might be. Improve and develop whatever it is you don't like and make it your own, because you're the creator of your individual reality. You can decide what you achieve, what you experience in your reality by putting your focus on the positives. Tying into that as well, it does tie into everyone else in your reality. So your specific person in this case does not have free will in your reality, meaning if you assume that they're going to commit to you, that you are really happy with them, your relationship is going really well, they can't suddenly decide, I'm just going to break up with them, this isn't working, I'm not happy. They cannot just suddenly shift and do a 180. There has to be assumptions and thoughts and issues that develop in your own mindset, in your subconscious beliefs that would lead to that. So you would need to be focusing predominantly on positive or predominantly negative to get a very specific outcome. So they cannot go against what you assume. That's why repetition and consistency is what I always recommend, what I tell my clients, what I remind you guys of in the videos as well, because that's the key thing. To get consistent results, your mindset needs to be consistent. You cannot hold on to something if your mindset is wavering, if you're going back and forth between the old story, the new story. So it's very important to remember that if you stay consistent, you apply repetition, then your SP will reflect that as well. So focus on the relationship. What's positive in your current relationship? If you don't have that, what's positive about your contact? And if you don't have contact yet, maybe it's a new person or you're not currently in contact, then what could be? What could potentially be positive? Imagine that, visualize that, hold on to that. That's the version of the relationship and the context of your relationship with them that you want to put your focus into, not the issues or arguments or things that went wrong in the past. Just put your focus on the positives. So frame it in that light and then start feeling excited and focusing on mentally imagining as if you're having this date with them. So script a scene. So you can use this through scripting, but there is another method that you can use that I will focus on in a moment. So maybe script out a scene, a short scene and description of what this date would be like. That would be my recommendation. Or even if you're not going to use that method, just make a couple notes on paper, on your phone, of what your visualization will be, what the scene is that you will imagine. So the date night, the date itself, what is that going to look like? Anything to do with you actually leading into or experiencing that date. Just make some notes and write out what that clearly and that clear vision would be like for you. So what do you want to experience with your specific person? And you don't have to use a scripting method. It can then just be translated into a visualization. I would personally say that the visual is the key element. It's going to kind of trick your mind and create a placebo effect as if you are actually experiencing this date with them, because your mind doesn't understand, especially with repetition, the difference between a memory and an imagination. an imagined, made up scene, right? The more you repeat it, the more it becomes ingrained in your subconscious and therefore is adopted as a memory and a belief, and you can kind of trick your mind into blurring the two. Yeah, memory and the brain is a very, very weird, complex system. So this actually ties in perfectly for manifestation. So the best way to do this, and the key elements for this, it's obviously up to you guys, but you want to use descriptive words. So a lot of adjectives or anything descriptive about setting the scene, you know, location, using your different five senses, you know, what are you personally experiencing relating to this day? How do you feel? Maybe you feel excited, you've got butterflies in your stomach and you're very, very excited and anticipating this day in a really happy, confident way, and you just can't believe that this day is finally here. You get to have your date with your SP. Think about all these different elements that would work best for you. So 2 different ways that you could approach this, and again, keeping it pretty simple. You don't have to script out a whole Netflix film. It can just be, you know, 10-15 second visualization. So whether it's you getting ready for the date, and maybe then in accordance with that, because it's prior to the date, you get a text confirming it. You get a text message that confirms the date from your SP, so you're in contact. They're saying, yes, so excited, this is our plan, can't wait to see you later. Or maybe then it's actually you experiencing the date itself, sitting somewhere with your SP, and it's very clearly a date between the 2 of you. So decide how exactly you want to approach this, what feels best for you, maybe what's easiest to even visualize. And also a few other prompts is maybe you think about where would you be ideally? What's the location? What's the setting? You know, something realistic for you. It doesn't have to be realistic, obviously, but if you want to physically manifest this date and actually use this as a manifestation tool, then maybe make it something more realistic. So for example, you know, you're not at a 5-star resort on a tropical beach, because if you don't live on an island, then it's probably unlikely that this date is just going to come up out of nowhere. So maybe it's like your favorite restaurant, or somewhere, if you both live in a city, somewhere, a cute city date location. I love those personally. I think that's very, very cute and, you know, in accordance with rom-coms. So yeah, think about where would this ideal location be? Maybe a slightly more quiet, intimate location so you can catch up and talk and get to know each other. Something cute and simple. Maybe you just want to go get ice cream. That's quite cute. They did that in The Notebook. And yeah, think about also how they would treat you. So again, getting the ideal treatment and respect and value from your SP, which should be in accordance with your own self-concept. So how are they treating you? Like the text confirmation or complimenting you, being romantic towards you. Think about all these different elements that you can tie into this actual date manifestation. So in terms of how you apply this, now that you've set the scene, you know what you're going to focus on, and you've got your actual date plan, think about how you want to incorporate that. So personally, I would recommend repeating it at least once a day. So it can just be an additional thing to your normal routine, and for at least 1 full week. So I think that is plenty of repetition for it to saturate your subconscious. You've applied repetition. It's more likely to physically manifest and start creating movement for that, because if you just do something once, it's probably less likely to manifest. Not saying that it won't, because you are still doing your whole, you know, SP manifestation as a whole. So yes, this could absolutely manifest kind of in tandem and as part of that. But if you do something once, as you guys know, logically, the way the mind works, like it's probably not going to manifest on its own. It needs a little more of a boost. But if you do it, you know, once a day for a whole week, and you really visualize and embody it, it's more likely to create some movement, be more realistic to you, and break down any barriers in your mind to you thinking you can't have this date. So yeah, at least 1 week and at least once a day is my personal recommendation. A few extra tips for applying this. I would definitely say don't check for movement, don't check for progress. It's not going to benefit you, and it's forcing the 3D in a way where you're trying to control things. You're not trusting the process. You're not trusting your own manifestation by saying, I need to go and check, is it here yet? Is it here yet? That's not coming from a secure mindset, a confident mindset, which is ideal to prevent you from wavering and just getting in the end result mindset. Because if you keep checking, you're telling yourself, I haven't yet received this thing, I haven't yet experienced it, and I'm desperate for it, so I'm going to keep checking if it's arrived yet. So best thing to do is to absolutely not check for progress. I have videos that touch on how to deal with the 3D and handle your circumstances whilst manifesting, so I'm not going to delve into all that now, but I will say try your best not to check for progress. Another mental diet trick that is going to be essential is to stay on the mental diet to begin with, but also something you can do is if you do get the urge to check for progress, or you're aware that nothing's occurred yet, then look at your phone, or every time you do look at your phone and this comes up in your mind about your SP, you can tell yourself, or just really imagine and visualize that the text message has come through. You've received confirmation and contact from your SP relating to the day. So look at your phone, and then I've done this myself and it's actually worked. Not for a date specifically, but in general, when I'm waiting for certain messages to come through. Look at your phone screen, and then in that time, you probably would have a potential, doubt or thought come up about contact. Look at your phone screen and say to yourself, and visualize that your SP's name has come up and it's a text saying, shall we have this day? Or can't wait for Friday, something like that. This does work, and it's going to be good to trick your mind with this form of mental diet. So yeah, that's another extra method that you can do along the way. But test this out for at least a week. We can make it a little SP challenge. Come back to the comments with your progress if you'd like. I'd love to see you guys test this method out. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!